today we're doing this video a little bit differently. It's not going to be about book review, but today it's going to be my first I forgot what to say. Today is going to be my first authortube. As I mentioned previously in my newbie booktube tag, I also going to use this platform as an authortube. I don't know if you know, but between September and October, it's actually nanoprep, or as I prefer to call it, Prep-tober. It's a month before NaNoWriMo, where aspiring writers prep for their piece, and hopefully that we could be able to finish them in time by the end of NaNoWriMo. So NaNoWriMo is the National Novel Writing Month, and it commences on the 1st of November. I'm not sure how many nanoprep videos I'm going to make. For the first one, we're going to look into some of the stuffs that I get started with. So I just registered myself into the NaNoWriMo website. So the website nanorimo.org is where you can go to, you can register, you can announce your project, and you can join in with the community. So there's a lot of fun stuff here. And there's also plenty of resources for nanoprep as well. There's talks that you can join. So you can also get discount on writer tools like Scrivener, and I never use that. I stick to Google Docs because I guess I don't like to complicate stuff. I like to keep my notes in hard copy while I keep my writings in soft copy. So that's just what I prefer myself to do. There's even a neat calendar here for you to keep track on events. And then you can also put some badge to show that you are participating in the National Novel Writing Month, and it's really great. You can also join in a community. Right now, I already joined the community for Malaysia, but unfortunately, there are only 2 other members. It's really sad, but okay. I actually had a beta reader, but the feedback that I got was not as stimulating as I was hoping for. It's not something that I wanted. I wanted something more like, is this plot going somewhere? Do I need to make my characters more interesting or funny or something? But that's not the kind of feedback that I got, so I just drop it. I've already started writing. Initially, my story started with 27,000 words. Unfortunately, I had to cut it down to 16,000, which sucked because after I do some rereading with fresh eyes, I realized, wow, that sucks. After revision, now I ended up with just 16,000. You can also earn badges in here, like what kind of progress that you have. Just like in Audible, you have badges that you can earn for every of your progress. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 badges. So I'm really going to try and earn as many things as I can. I think it's a great motivational tool, and they even have like the analytics. So you can even look at your progress analytics. Since I updated that my work is now in 16,000 words. On average, I wrote 1,400 words per day. So at this rate, I'll be done by December 7th. I don't want December 7th, I want November 30th. At the very least, I should be done with the first draft by November 30th. So I have to increase my speed a little bit. If you're interested, you can register to nanorimo.org and then join the community, start writing and start preparing for your writing. And then you can download all the online resources it has. For me, like, see here, I've downloaded the NanoPrep 101, which is actually from the NaNoWriMo website. So it's pretty cool that they have a lot of things in here regarding like summaries. They want to how you're developing your ideas and what kind of story you're passionate about. Complex and believable characters. They even have notes and everything. There's and they all divided it in how many sessions? On 6 sessions. So for today, I'm going to try to do at least 2 sessions. And there's also other notes that I got, which is the I found this is actually a summary of the Blake Snyder's beat sheet. And then there's also a NaNoWriMo workbook for month before checklist. So I found this one at torycox.com. You can check out their website for more. And then see, there's even a lot of interesting stuff going on over here. You can see like they even put up this character profile template. There's also some setting template, a lot of goals. This one is not as wordy as the official NaNoWriMo resources, but this one is also good. So what is my story about? Now, this is gonna be a surprise for you, but my story started off as a fanfic, a Star Wars fanfic. I started writing this last year, and initially it was just like, it was a fun project. You know, I haven't been writing for a long time. I miss it. I used to write a lot when I was in school, and then I just kind of, it just kind of fell off. And then I watched Star Wars sequel trilogy, and I had a love-hate relationship with it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, because I see a lot of great potential in that trilogy that they just ruin, that made me so angry. But I will tell you one thing that I like about the sequel trilogy that had a lot of potential if it was done very well, but it was ruined by bad writing, which was Reylo. I became a Reylo fan after I watched The Last Jedi. I see a lot of potential in the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey, and I was thinking, you know what? I wasn't expecting a romantic relationship, at the very least not in the beginning. I was expecting more like a kind of soulmate thing, which they are in a way, but not really as romantic. You know, I wasn't expecting a mushy romantic story. Nothing too sexual, but it's more towards them being, soulmates. And the way I see it, the way they end it with The Rise of Skywalker, I can see that's what they're going for, which I understand. But they're going about it in such a bad way that it made most fans hate them. Now for me, as part of the Reylo fandom, I see the weakness. I acknowledge the weakness of Reylo, and I understand why people hate it, but that it has so much great potential if it is done well. And I feel like, you know what? Thank you so much, Star Wars, for ruining Reylo, because now I have inspiration for my story. The first thing that I did for Reylo is to identify things that they have done wrong. A lot of things fall apart in The Rise of Skywalker because they undo what The Last Jedi did. I was actually really in love with the idea that Rey being like not someone with special parents, that she's just a normal girl abandoned in a desert. I thought it would be so cool because it immediately just shattered all of these delusions that she have about her parents taking her back. You know, it was such a great backstory. It was simple and it was unexpected and it was different and original. They have a chance to turn Star Wars, to change it in a new direction, but then they ruined it. Now, it's not perfect. TLJ is absolutely not perfect. I mean, the fact that Rey won, Rey all of a sudden, the last thing that they made Rey do is lift rocks and immediately she's an amazing Jedi. It's bad for me. It's very rushed, and it's just they were just trying to ride on this girl power movement, which really sucks. And then they immediately undo all that character development from Rey, you know, realizing that her parents will never come back for her. It undoes everything, all the emotional progress that she has in The Last Jedi. It would be so much better if they just kept Rey as an average orphan. But Rey needs to be the granddaughter of the Emperor. I hate that, you know, because I realized after the initial reception of The Last Jedi, Disney probably realized that, oh, they don't know where to go from there. So they decided, you know what, bring back Rey as a Palpatine. And how well that shit works. This was actually going to be a Star Wars fanfiction sequel trilogy set in medieval Japan, specifically in the 19th century. You wanna know the funny thing? What happens to me when I got this idea? Now, when I got this, it happens to me when I think around a few weeks after the release of Ghost of Tsushima. And then at that time I was in the peak of my Relo fandomness. If you actually go to my first channel, you see that most of my Relo videos were uploaded around that time. It's because I was so in love with that idea. I was so in love, still in love by the way, but yeah, that was like the most intense level of love that I have for said idea. So I was thinking like, what if Star Wars but in medieval Japan? And you want to know what's more interesting? The Jedi Order in the Star Wars franchise was actually inspired by the movie Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. That's how George Lucas got the inspiration for the Jedi Code from the Code of Bushido. So I figured, you know, why not take Star Wars back to its actual roots? Before I finally decided to use the 19th century as my setting, the first thing that I did was, of course, watch Bill Wirt's video on history of Japan. And that's when I decided that the 19th century is perfect. It was the beginning of the end of the lockdown period in Japan. The arrival of the American ships and a lot of really interesting stuff happens during that period that I could use for my story. And it also plays with the theme of belonging. Just like in the Star Wars trilogy, Rey is actually looking for a place where she belongs and the person that she belongs to. And in here, I think it fits well with the setting and how this Rey, my Rey, is looking for a place that she belongs. Same goes for Kylo Ren, of course. Now, I don't want you to tell a lot more in the story except for that, because I haven't fully decided on how it's really going to be, because it might change in the process because of, you know, plot inconsistency. There's also going to be other characters as well. Poe is going to be there, Finn is going to be there, Taiko Hana is going to be there. Of course, I'm going to include Luke, Han Solo, Leia. Basically, all the characters that you love are going to be there in immersion. I'm going to find a proper Japanese name for them. I don't want to spoil a lot of things about the story because it's still in its planning stage, and 16,000 words is actually very little in comparison to what I have planned, because it is basically just the kind of the first phase of the story. So let me get started on filling this baby out.
Later.
Okay, so right now I am doing the first session So in the first session, it's more on getting your brain juice flowing, getting your imagination run wild. And even though I have a story already, but I think this is a good practice, especially if you haven't picked up your writing for a while, like me. So yeah, I'm doing this. They also have this part where you have to pick your favorite movies or your favorite story. You write a synopsis and then you change them. And here are my 3 favorite movies. So let me know in the comments whether you can tell what stories are they. So right now there's this really interesting task. So in session 1 part 2, it's about borrowing a character, which means you invent a story or future for someone. Maybe it's a friend you lost in touch after college, invent a teacher you had, family members you've heard of, or just someone you've seen in photos or the bus. If you know this someone that you haven't been in touch with, or maybe just a random person, you invent a story for them, you some kind of a fantasy. And then number 3 is also quite interesting, which is you have to pick a news and then you have to write a story from a different perspective based on that news. So now I would
Later that same evening.
Hi guys, unfortunately I have to cut this video short because my family came home earlier than I expected, and I'm not ready, so not ready to share with them this personal project of mine. You know, let's just keep it between, you know. So I'm in the middle of editing my previous video, so I don't know when this video is going to come. But anyway, see you guys in the next one. Bye!